Good day and welcome back to another week of Talking Technical. And well, I got some emails. Everybody say, well, Frans, it's okay that you use this static picture because we know exactly who you are and how you look like, and we recognize your voice. So let's stick to that. If the internet gets a little bit better here in the middle of the career, we can always go to a normal one again. But let's stick to the static one for the moment because it works well and it looks nice. And the first question, thank you, by the way, for everybody that sent some requests on YouTube. We had some nice questions there. The first one was on United Health. And just to show you guys, that's maybe why it's necessary to subscribe to our newsletters, because this share was exactly pointed out. It looks okay to me. And look at this beautiful dragonfly doji. So for those that subscribe to our services, will get all the levels and the stop loss. But for the guy that asked about it, Anderson, it looks like you're quite okay, because this dragonfly doji usually calls for a turnaround after a massive waterfall formation. And then, of course, Felicity said, Frans, can you maybe tell me what will happen if the intraday chart of the ALSI or another instrument, the broker or the system gets broken for that day? What will happen? Well, unfortunately, that is a problem. If you work on intraday charts, I'm just going to show you my background there of all the charts running around here. And the top one, of course, is the ALSI near. That's where we call all our 30-minute ideas from. That is quite true. If this gets stuck, Felicity, then you almost stuck already. And we've seen this before, that it will happen. And what is the golden rule here? The golden rule is, if you have an intraday position and you're scared that that can take place, always remember, if you trade intraday charts, never go too big. Stick to your stop loss. And if, let's say, for instance, you wanted to put in a stop loss, or you're looking at the chart and the chart goes, let's call it inverted commas, dead, then that just means that you stuck to that, and you cannot do anything. Usually the brokers cannot assist you, because usually their systems will also be down. So just stick to that. Small trades, maybe look at your stop loss or your profit levels. If you want to add that into the chart already or into the system, you can do so. But often, if a chart gets stuck by either the network going down or whatever, you are almost on the ropes. You cannot do anything against that. And then Johannes asked me, Frans, which broker are you using? What we've seen during the years, Johannes, it's always better to advise a certain broker to the client or to the reader of his risk profile and what he wants to trade. So for me, always, if you are a member of the speculation group or even the candle of the day, and you ask for a platform, we will always look at that, and then we will prefer a broker, and then maybe one or two or three, and then you can go ahead with them. And we don't even know who you trade with, but then we just give you a broad guideline of whom you can use. So let's kick off with business. And the first one is Anheuser-Busch. I mean, this chart is always a keen mover on a weaker rand. And nowadays, the rand is nice and strong. And what do we see? It's consolidating here at the top. And everybody would like to know, can it go higher or will it break to the downside? Well, always the golden rule for me is the 50-day moving average. It's above the 50-day moving average. So for me, the momentum is still clearly to the upside. If you want to look at this, you can always look at that. There's a tiny flag formation developing here. That is usually positive. A flag formation usually break to the upside. And I believe that the rand can maybe weaken, and we can maybe see Anheuser-Busch to break up to the upside. But where's the level? The level will be above 1,233 rand. And where's my stop loss? My stop loss will be at 1,203. And where can it go to? It can probably reach that previous high of on the 22nd of April, and that will be at 1,257 rand and 30 cents. But boy, oh boy, always remember, this share had a beautiful rally. I mean, can you believe it? Just from February, let's just go there. I mean, from the 16th of January, it went from 880 Rand all the way where it is now at 1,227. That's almost a 50% gain. So it's a big move. So be careful if it starts to break below that. This can maybe surprise you. And as I said to one of our traders this morning that follows the Aussie with us, I said to him, listen, partner, you must just remember our market had one massive rally. I mean, 15,000 points in a matter of a few weeks. I think it's 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks. That's a lot. So be careful to buy now. And just my idea, I say if I want to buy something, I'll wait for this market to come back. And the reason why I'm saying that, because all the shares, usually when the market comes back, they all pull back, and then we can maybe look at some opportunities. But look at this. There's a big gap here. This gap, I doubt if it will close it, but this gap sits between 1,060 Rand and 50 cents, and it will only close at 1,016.62. Sorry, it opens up at 1,060.50, and can you believe it? There's the high, 1,016.62. So this gap will maybe close, but that will be under severe selling pressure. Let's have a look at British American Tobacco. Joe asked me, he said, Frans, and I'm happy that Joe is back, because he was always a member, and he read about the charts, and I think he went overseas and he's now back. And Joe said to me, Frans, is there a possibility that British American Tobacco will break to the downside? I like the stock. I buy it for the dividend, and I like it. But Joe, the only problem that I've got with the chart at the moment is the following. And if that is the case, look at this. And I mean, this is a good dividend payer. There's a lot of people that always smokes. And I will always remember a friend of mine, when I bought British American Tobacco once, I said to him, listen, I'm a little bit worried about British American Tobacco. He said to me, Frans, you don't need to worry. There's 1,000 Chinese guys starting to smoke every day. So it's nice. But look at this. There's the head. There's the left shoulder. There's the massive head, and we may be working on the right shoulder here. And look at these candles all around this 810 Rand level. There's some keen sellers. Just look at these upper shadows. This upper shadows tells you that there is some keen sellers here at the top, and they maybe want to look at locking in profit. But for me, the first clue will be below this 50-day moving average. Look at this 50-day moving average. It's a support. It gets tested. It bounces off that. And now we must see if it will bounce off it again. So my first sign of weakness will be below this 50-day moving average. That's 764.37. My neckline is sitting at 731.82. And maybe we can go all the way down. Let's just do the projection there for you guys. So that you can also see how I get to that. Remember, this is an educative show that is to teach you about technical analysis. You are free to ask questions, and if I can answer it, I will gladly do so. My target to the downside will be 677 Rand and 29 cents. And Joe, I do not know if you are a trader or are you a long-term investor. It sounds like you are a long-term investor because you're talking about the dividends yet. Do you like? But the first sign of weakness will show below 764, around that 50-day moving average. And definitely, if it breaks this neckline, as I gave through earlier on, then you must know the stock wants to fall over or not fall over. It wants to turn around, and it can maybe go a little bit lower. But always remember, British American Tobacco, like Anheuser-Busch, is sometimes a good buy for the long term, but only buy it on weakness, because it can maybe surprise you to the upside. Let's have a look at Glencore. Kobus asked about Glencore, and he said, will you maybe tell me what can we expect from Glencore? Now, I want to show you here, Kobus. I've got a friend here, and he calls this sort of movement a snake movement. It's almost like a snake going up a ladder. Can you remember that game that we played, Snakes and Ladders? Now look at Glencore. It from about January this year, it went all the way down slowly, tiny little candles, and only here right at the end it fell away, and then it started to build a consolidation here where it's working on now. But I'm going to call Rashid the snake indicator. Rashid is my friend, and he thought about this movement, and he said to me, Frans, this is like a snake, a slow movement. It's like slow poison. So exactly, Rashid, thank you for indicating it to us. In future, when we see a chart doing this slow movements to the downside, we will say it is the snake indicator, and the guy that developed it is Rashid, my big friend, a keen participator in technical analysis. But let's have a look at Glencore. Glencore, I mean, we had this fall away right at the end. The snake got tired, or it actually bit somebody, and now we're working on a consolidation here. And here's your 50-day moving average. And what I like about this chart, although it closed this gap now, look at it, there's still a tiny little gap here opening between 63 Rand 37, and it will close at 65.50. So there is a tiny little gap here. And for me, let's just get that level, sorry, that gap will close at 62.37, unfortunately, 62.37, and it opens at 63.12. So there's a little gap. I think this gap will maybe close, but look what we see here. Glencore, remember, is a diversified miner. They big into copper, and I think the world is starting to see a shortage of copper. People say, but Frans, this has been happening for a long time. Well, I can tell you, if infrastructure in the world must get sort of a boost, a little boost, copper will literally go through the roof, like gold did when everybody was looking for gold. Look at this symmetrical triangle. You can either nibble at the close of this gap. That's sometimes a good tactic. But where will it break to the upside? It will break to the up at 66 Rand 20 cents. And the big move will be above this 50-day moving average. If this 50-day moving average can turn into a support at 67.31, it can maybe surprise us all the way. I just want to do something else here. We often talk about a golden cross. I just want to see if this is not starting slowly but surely. I'm going to use a moving average here. I'm using the 20-day moving average because the other one is the 50. Let's have a look at the 20-day moving average. And if I look at this chart, there you are. We're right on the support of this 20-day moving average. Look where it did cross long time ago. Can you believe it? It crossed here around November 2024, and since then it went all the way down. So for us, if you do nibble on this and it does make a golden cross here, I think Glencore can maybe give you a good move to the upside. And why do I say that? There's quite a few gaps to the top, but this little gap is exactly the target of the symmetrical triangle, and this gap sits between 72.90, and it will close at 73.02. Well, I'm a little bit over my time. Thank you for all the questions. It makes the show very interesting. I hope you also learn a bit. Feel free to ask a question on YouTube or drop us an email at frans@fransdeklerk.com. And thank you for watching the show. As always, all the best, and we will chat again, and visit our website www.fransdeklerk.com for more info on our services.